Hello everyone and welcome to another Guild Wars 2 video. In this video we're going to go over the living story update of Fractured. I'm a little bit behind the times on this one, but I've had a lot of junk with school and yada yada yada, excuses, but hey, better late than never, right? So this update I would classify as one of those mainly content updates. In this update we were given 3 new main fractals, which 2 of them are the Molten Facility and the Aetherblade Retreat, just parts of those dungeons re-brought back into a fractal version. And the third one, which is because of our election of Ellen Keel, is the Thaumanova Reactor explosion. They also added 2 new boss fractals instead of just the Jade Maw, which of course many of you probably, if you've done fractals, that's the only boss from before. They've also added in the end bosses of the Molten Facility and the Aetherblade Retreat, which is Mytrin and the Molten Berserker and Molten Firestorm. With this update, they've changed the way that agony resistance is gained, and they've also changed to make it more in line with like when you get gold at the end of a dungeon path, you get some gold every day for doing certain levels of fractals, as well as some Imperial fragments. Story-wise, this update does not give us very much, but I can really briefly go over it. The only real story that's happening in this update is the story that happens in the Thaumanova Reactor story instance. So when you first go in, Keel goes in with you and thinks that Dessa is working for the Consortium, and the Consortium is doing some type of research, and as we all know, Keel doesn't trust the Consortium, and neither should you. So Keel basically convinces Dessa to send a team, which is you, into the Thaumanova Reactor explosion to see what happened there. So you're teleported into the Thaumanova Reactor as some Inquest people, as the reactor is going critical. Your main objective is basically to go around and disable a few of the safety mechanisms to be able to get a core sample before the reactor explodes. Which basically leads you to doing a couple different things, like for instance going into a maze with these reflective shields to reflect all these cannon shots back, and the group has to go around and press these buttons to open all of the force fields to get out of there. And you also end up having to fight Subject 6. Subject 6 works a lot like, if you remember during the Queen's Gauntlet, Subject 7, which is, of course, probably where the name comes from. He's probably the precursor to him. So you basically just have to fight him and kill off the little oozes that are around the room before they get to him and heal him. It's not too hard of a fight, you just have to do it. When you get to the end of the fractal and you go to the panel to use it, look who appears, and it's good old Scarlet. From Scarlet's little monologue, it's revealed that she's been working with the Inquest for a long time. In fact, much, much longer than the Aetherblades have even existed, which is where the Inquest showed up in all of the Scarlet's alliances. The Thaumanova Reactor, as it was, also was supposed to be using chaos energy, which is what it was referred to constantly by the Asura. It was a chaos energy reactor and stuff like that. She points out that the term chaos energy is actually a misnomer, and it's supposed to mean dragon energy, and that this is a reactor at the crossing of ley lines of dragon energy. This is cool because this does prove that the Thaumanova Reactor is basically a direct precursor to the Crucible of Eternity. At the same time, this brings up some points for the upcoming updates where some little pillars have appeared around, and they seem to be conveniently placed to possibly be ley lines. We'll see with that when the upcoming update happens. That'll be quite a while, I think January the 21st. Once Scarlet's little monologue's done, you can use the panel, and it teleports you up above the reactor to fight an anomaly, which is a really interesting thing that I don't know what it is, and Dessa doesn't know what it is, but somehow born out of all the dragon energy and the ripping of the space-time continuum or whatever the Thaumanova Reactor did. Most of the boss's attacks focus on destroying the platforms that you're standing on, which if you fall through those, you will end up dead. Once you defeat the anomaly, Guild Wars 2 turns into Cloverfield and shakes the camera around a while, and then teleports you to a little room to give you the reward chest, where you can then teleport back to Dessa's lab. They did throw one really nice thing in here at the end, too, in Dessa's lab itself. Keel basically says, okay, yeah, that's strange, but I'm going to have to arrest you, Dessa, or bring you in for questioning, not arrest. So Dessa agrees, and she tries to walk out of the fractal portal, which would take her back out to Lion's Arch. This very bright light occurs, and Dessa reappears right in front of Keel. When Keel says, yeah, nice try, you're still going to have to come with me, Dessa doesn't recognize her, and just says, oh, welcome to my facility, you're here to explore the fractals. This is really cool, because this actually might mean that Dessa's lab is itself a fractal now. So she's stuck there, in an infinite loop, forever. That's kind of depressing, but it's still kind of cool at the same time, and it's a nice little bit of effort they threw in there to just make the fractal lobby just a little bit cooler. But that's pretty much all that happened with this update. I'm not normally a big fractal person, so I can't speak for the agony changes at all. You'll have to go to someone who does a lot of fractals for that. I'm sorry again for the delay, but you know, school, for some reason school's important. I don't understand it, but people keep telling me that. Expect a new video for the Nightmare Ends. Expect that within the next couple days. And as always, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.
Gizmo you're using, but you can't get away from us that easily.
I'm sorry, have we met?
Citizen.
Welcome to the Mistlock Observatory. So, are you interested in exploring the fractals?
You really don't recognize me, do you? You don't remember sending a team into the Thaumanova Reactor.
Thaumanova? I've got friends on that crew, and from what I understand, it's not a safe place to visit, or work.
Never mind. This is going to take some time to figure out. I'll be back, Dessa. Be here when I come for you.
Not a problem. My life's work is here, and I couldn't leave it even if I wanted to.
I understand. At least, I think I'm starting to. My sincere apologies, citizen. Carry on.